Have you noticed how a lot of YouTubers lately have been talking about how much less money they're making and how hard it is right now, and AdSense going down, viewership going down, and oh, it's so hard? I have. Leave it in the comments if you have. But it seems like it's something they did to themselves. Past couple of days I've been working a lot on trying to figure out the most sort of seamless or frictionless way of recording these vlogs. Because I made two, so of course there's going to be some friction because I'm starting to discover what works and what doesn't work. Problem is, using your phone and wanting slightly better audio than you get from the phone, even though the iPhone 15 Pro Max does have good audio when you're close to the mic and you have the proximity effect, but most of the time when I'm doing stuff like this, I'm wearing the DJI Mic 2, and that means I have to have the receiver connected to the phone. And that means I have to have a wire or cord, because plugging the receiver into the phone directly, I can't do that because I have like a super chunky case on the phone, and that doesn't really work at all. So I've been trying to figure out the most frictionless way of just picking up the phone and recording and switching between a front-facing and a back-facing camera, like when I'm walking around and filming something I'm doing, and then switching back to my face and talking to the camera. The phone is not like, it's good, it's doable, it works, but it's not the perfect way of doing it. It's not the most frictionless way of doing it. And I've been really eyeing the Insta360, and I've seen several vloggers right now testing that out. Where did I leave the battery? There it is. I've seen a lot of creators using the Insta360 with connected directly, and I gotta be honest, it seems really, really tempting. Like a really good solution, because it's filming in 360, so you get everything's happening in front of you, everything happening in the back, the color looks good. It does have options with log and whatnot, but I'm not buying gear right now. I can't really do that. I have the phone, it's working well. I do have the other camera I'm going to start doing the regular videos with, not the vlogs, but the regular videos. I need a couple extra batteries and a charger for that, because the batteries last really, really short. It's a Sony, of course, so there might be some changes coming up, but yeah. Getting that frictionless setup, I've been thinking why am I putting these here? I've been thinking about using an action camera, but then you have to switch the camera back and forth. Like the Action 4, Action 5 could do the job because it has the DJI mic connection. The Pocket I don't even want to go close to. Too many moving parts. I think can't really, well, you have to clip on that thing to put it in your pocket. It doesn't feel frictionless. At least not for the way that I think I will be filming, which from me doing stuff or filming things in the workshop, it doesn't really, I mean, it's too close to the phone. So I'm back at the phone. Again, having that receiver for the DJI Mic 2 dangling off a USB cable from the phone as I'm moving around in the shop. I could always mount everything to a cage. I do have the cardboard cage linked to that video up here. But the cardboard cage only goes so far. And still I would have to take that off the tripod. And then, well, yeah, I just want to be able to connect the mic, start filming, and that's it. And I don't want to switch between the front-facing and back-facing camera on the phone, because the quality of the front-facing or the selfie cam lens, the colors are so bad, and there's a difference in exposure, and then you have to adjust for that. And this, again, it's not frictionless. It doesn't just work. The hunt continues. So yeah, Insta360, if you want some honest opinions on how your camera works in a workshop setting with the mic, hit me up. Anyway, that wasn't really why I was making a video today. You might have noticed a lot of YouTubers, not just camera YouTubers or YouTube guru YouTubers, how they've made a lot of videos about how AdSense is down, viewership is down, YouTube is down, the whole world is down, they're struggling. It's a shit show. And it seems like they've done this to themselves. Because if you look back, a lot of these YouTubers, now not all of them, a lot of these YouTubers are YouTubers for doing completely different topics than videos, about making videos, or videos about starting channels, or videos about how to make courses, about how to start YouTube and make courses to make money from people buying courses about how to make YouTube. That whole circular economy, that's his whole own thing. But during the pandemic, a lot of creators made videos about how easy it was to start a YouTube channel and everybody should try it. And they taught how to film, how to make B-roll. And since it was the pandemic, people had some extra time left over. People were jumping on these videos like crazy. They were watching hours and hours and hours on how to do all of this stuff. And guess what? Many of them did. Now, what happens when the supply and demand of YouTube videos on a certain topic goes askew? Think about it. You have a very small group of people who are really good at making YouTube videos, teaching everything they know over several years, talking to people, explaining things, making tutorials. And as they do this, their production values increase, so the videos get better and better, and people are wanting more and more to be part of that whole thing. What happens when a lot of those viewers suddenly do start their own channels and start to teach exactly what those big YouTubers were teaching them, and them moving from being viewers to being creators and having less time to watch things and spending more time creating things, and not only causing less viewers for the big creators, but also stealing some of their viewers for their videos? Because what happened several months ago was YouTube changed the algorithm. And YouTube changed the algorithm so smaller creators, like sub 100 subs, like less than 100 subs, a lot of creators with very, very small channels were being pushed in the home feed, in the discovery page, on the side of other big videos. And then you suddenly had this perfect storm. So the small group of big YouTubers who had this big group of people who wanted to be YouTubers or wanted to create videos, suddenly a lot of these people started creating videos and taught the same things that they had been taught by the small group of big YouTubers. And then on top of that, YouTube started pushing these small channels out to the audience, other viewers that were left. And at the same time, you didn't have the same amount of new viewers coming in as you had of viewers migrating from being viewers to creators. That perfect storm is probably what's causing the drop in views. Of course, on top of the fact that, well, the pandemic is over, people are going back to their normal lives, giving up on their YouTube dreams, etc., and watching less YouTube. That's one factor as well. But when you pile all of these factors together, then you get the perfect storm. And as people have grown tired of watching B-roll video after B-roll video after B-roll video, again, you can only teach the same thing so many times before a lot of your viewers know how to do that, and they move on, either because they have other interests or because they've moved on and up, becoming a creator themselves. And many of these creators trying to teach the same things over and over again, going into this loop, they tire themselves of creating that same content just with slightly different angle on things. Of course it's going to go bad. Of course there's going to be less views and less ad money income, AdSense income. That's just how the whole supply and demand thing works. When the supply of videos, of content, overpowers the demand, and the demand shrinks and the supply grows, what happens? Everything gets spread out over too many people, spread too thin. It's the same thing that happened with like fidget spinners. I mean, this has been happening for years. Every trend or fad that ever came and went experienced the same thing. Fidget spinners took off. Couldn't get enough of them. And of course the prices would, like, people were paying $5, $10, $15 for fidget spinners. But then as the market caught up, the supply grew so big that in the end they were giving away fidget spinners with other purchases, you know? And the same thing has been happening here in the YouTube creator space. But the ramifications of that whole thing, when you think about it, this little group of YouTube creators talking about starting YouTube and creating on YouTube and filming and filmmaking and effects and B-roll and all that kind of stuff, that little group probably destroyed it for a larger group of YouTubers, because many of these people that were also into thinking about starting a YouTube channel, they went out and didn't start channels about creating YouTube channels, but they went out and did other channels on other topics. And of course, what happens then, all of these other topic areas or spaces on YouTube for different things like woodworking. So many new woodworking channels popping up. Miniature painting. The explosion of miniature painter channels and scratch building of models and everything that has to do with tabletop wargaming and stuff. There's so, like, I've been watching that space for a couple of years, and that space has exploded as people has gotten better at painting. They've started their own channels. Yeah, that's the thing. No. But yeah, that's what happens. When people teach something and more people learn and they get good at it, and especially if the creators keep rehashing the same old content because they know they get a certain amount of views on that and don't sort of grow with the viewer is going to leave them and move on to other things or other creators. So there's this whole situation going on, which is largely their own fault. Now, smaller creators like myself, I mean, I'm still sub 1K subscribers. I've gotten some, I mean, the reason why I'm closing in on 1,000 subs and the reason why my watch time hours are pretty good, even though I haven't made that many videos lately, still it's a steady growth all the time. And part of that is because YouTube was pushing these smaller creators, and that led to me growing slowly but steadily up until where I am now. So I've sort of, what's the word? There's a word for it. Reaped the benefits. I've reaped the benefits of that whole thing. Would it have happened if I started now? Probably not. But we'll see, because I'm releasing a couple of videos soon that are like proper videos, a couple of tutorials that have been asked about a lot from some of the people that follow me. And those videos are coming, but they do take a long time because there are it's like, one of them is a DaVinci Resolve speed editor and editing video, and those take so much time because everything has to be planned out so well to be useful and not just a lot of fluff. And I'm trying not to make a tutorial video that is just basically the same as every other tutorial video on DaVinci Resolve, focusing very much on the cut page and the speed editor, which a lot of DaVinci channels don't do. Which is one of the reasons why it takes so much time, because I'm trying to sort of build this video as a really proper introduction that will give you as much useful information as possible. However, back to the YouTubers that are complaining. I digress. Yeah, another thing with those bigger channels, a lot of them have moved from the core content they were making, that they were getting a lot of views on, like tutorials, like B-roll, very practically oriented videos on how to do stuff, and have moved into the whole sort of lifestyle, not vlogger, but more sort of general entertainment space. And they wonder why their views are down. The thing is, as a creator, you might be an interesting person, but not everyone who follows you for your sort of initial offering, the cool instructional videos and stuff that you could learn from, are interested in what you do in your spare time, what you do with your life in general, Not everyone is interested in that, and of course views are going to be down. You will lose viewers and subs because you're no longer making what they came there for. Not understanding that is like not really understanding how the market and supply and demand works. Now, Peter McKinnon is a good example of someone who has successfully moved from being just a tutorial guy. Matti Haapoja is another one. He moved very well from being the tutorial guy to being more of a, not lifestyle vlogger, but in general just doing a wide variety of things on video. But also they are experiencing some slowdown. And this is, I mean, the only reason why this is happening, the only sensible reason for it is the influx of people from the bottom segment, the viewers, that have moved into this space where they are creating. And not only then not watching, but also stealing views from the bigger creators. So you have this shift going on. There's a weird shift. I don't think it's going to be a big shift, but there is a shift going on. And then, of course, you have the authenticity thing coming in, with people with a camera in a car, those videos suddenly exploding. DoorDash was one of them. There were so many that started stealing views and started stealing sort of attention from some of the bigger YouTubers. And again, when you pile like each and every one of these smaller things, doesn't necessarily mean that much, but when you pile them all together and suddenly have a 30-40% drop off in viewership, of course that's going to affect the AdSense. And if you at the same time change your type of content from a type of content that you get paid well for in terms of payment per 1,000 views into a type of content that doesn't necessarily resonate with the people buying the adverts. Woof. And of course, that's just the way supply and demand works. There's nothing you can do about it other than continue to do what you were doing, which also isn't working because some of those viewers have moved up, or figure out a way to, I hate the word reinvent yourself, but figure out something new to do or something that is actually interesting to a group of people that might not have sort of ascended to that next level, where there is still a large group of people to make content for. But that's hard. And if you think that, oh, I have hundreds and thousands of subscribers, I have millions of subscribers, but views and watch time is down, and you think that, well, there should be higher because I was popular, so I should be popular because I have all these subscribers. But that subscriber number, and several videos have been made on this topic, many of these people are just, well, that subscription is somewhere in their list of channels they follow, but because YouTube is getting better and better and better at targeting videos to viewers, understanding what a video is about, understanding what the viewer wants to watch, as long as that algorithm is getting better and better, and instead of just basing the recommendation on a broad understanding of what the viewer wants, but knowing that the viewer wants to watch not only like miniature painting, but a certain type of miniature painting or a certain type of models, using maybe even a certain type of paint. The recommendations from YouTube is going to be narrower and narrower towards those viewers, meaning that a creator that was previously getting a lot of views from their general topic videos, hitting a general topic audience, now their videos are actually shown to less people because YouTube is getting better at understanding exactly what the video is about and exactly what the viewers want to watch. And if viewers don't really want to watch that exact thing you made a video on, the views on that video is going to be lower than before. So this can go both ways. It means that creators might have to get better at determining what the viewers are actually looking for and figuring out which broad topics hit best and which broad topics don't have a viewership or a sort of a target audience anymore. And that's going to be interesting. So yeah, that was basically. So yeah, I mean, it's a challenge for everyone. At the same time, for those of us who don't take it that seriously, this is a gold mine. This is perfect for us. We can enjoy doing whatever we want. Not really caring that much about exactly how much we're going up and down. Because the way it looks now, there's still views seeping in from all of this happening. And as the bigger creators get less views, some of them quitting, you have this natural shrinking of competitors, if you will, for those who can actually stay the course. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the next 2 or 3 years. I have to get back to cleaning up this mess because I'm putting the whole studio back into a zero state and just finishing up the big but I have to get back to cleaning the rest of this up and getting back to my big reorganization of the studio. A video about that is coming pretty soon, I hope. And as soon as I'm done with this space, we're digging into the back room. So until next time, bye.